Call the Scottsboro City Council meeting Monday, March 25th to order. The invocation will be given by Mr. McCreary. The pledge of allegiance given by Mr. Miller. Mr. Wheeler, will you call the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. McQuarrie?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Gary Stewart?
Here.
Mr. Patrick Stewart?
Here.
Mr. President, Chapter Forums and your open conduct cease visits.
First item is the adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
President, I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Did we have a 9-item?
Yes, we did. And it is considered the Atrium Engineering Services. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any other discussion? Now we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Next item is the approval of previous minutes from March 4th, 2013. Do I have a motion to approve the previous minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. There is no old business, so we'll move to new business. First item is a public hearing for alcohol license. Danny Joe Atkins do business as Club Inferno. Mr. Wheeler, will you do the investigative report, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. The applicant's name is Danny Joe Atkins. The type of license is a lounge not connected with a hotel, motel, or restaurant. The establishment's name will be Club Inferno. Its location is 3504 South Broad Street. The personal background investigation, you have some information in your packet on that. The survey resulted in no objections from residents or business. The footage requirements are met for the school, church, and residents. The parking requirements are met, floor space requirements are met, and the license application is in order. The health, fire, and building are pending final inspection, and the zoning verification complies.
At this time, this is time and place to hold a public hearing. Is there anyone here against this item? Anyone here against this item? Is there anyone here for this item? Is there anyone here other than the owners for this item? Okay, this closes the public hearing. Do I have a motion to accept the alcohol license for Club Inferno pending final inspection?
I'll make a motion. You can take it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion?
May we have the gentleman come forward?
Yes.
Alex,
Just fine.
I guess the first question I got is, where did you come up with that name?
Actually, just strolling on the internet looking, I didn't know what to name it, and just got on the internet and it kind of stuck out at me.
Okay, reason I really wanted you to come up, on this, background investigation, it has that, there was an arrest of, damaging property, criminal mischief, second degree back in '88.
Yes,
Is that you? Was it
it
you?
was. It was.
Could you tell us about that, please?
Of course, it was back in our younger years, and me and a boy that we went to school with that had a verbal altercation, and he went home and told his daddy that I hit his truck, which I did not. but I was found guilty and had to pay for the truck back in 1988, $200 and something.
You have a misdemeanor?
It was a misdemeanor, yes, sir.
That's all I have.
Are you from Scottsboro?
No, ma'am, I'm actually from Hazel Green,
Okay.
Alabama, and one of the council members I was speaking to out in the hall. I also do construction work, roofing and framing, and I was working for Fife Construction, Senator Roy Burns' company. And he brought me up and down Broad Street quite a bit, and I just noticed the building and come about from there.
Could you tell me a little bit about the club, what your aspirations are that you're going to have there and do there?
Absolutely, we're going to do live music, bands, local bands, if we can get them. We have intentions on bringing some bigger groups like Confederate Railroad, different ones that we can get, maybe and do an event 2 or 3 or 4 times a year. But we're also going to put together a house band and let them play in there most nights, and then just bring in local clubs like 12 Miles North. Some of y'all may have heard of them, we spoke with them. And we're also going to do karaoke. We've also got this idea that we can do karaoke in front of the actual band itself. So just that type of entertainment.
And your hours of operation, or days and hours of operation that you're looking at
Is probably not open the club before 4 p.m. and obviously close at 2 a.m.
Okay, this is like how many nights a week? Just say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, that type of thing to start with, or?
So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, if the business is successful, we may want to open up maybe on a Tuesday or Wednesday, providing there's business there. If there's no business there, we'll keep it strictly to a weekend type business.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any more discussion?
If no other discussion, I'd like to amend my motion. It says here that health inspections pending final inspection, fire pending final inspection, building.
Yes.
I'd like to include all of those inspections that have to be met before it's actually approved.
All right, we'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. So it passes with the further inspections. Next item is consider the RDS tax contracts. Mr. Wheeler, will you read that resolution, please?
Yes, sir. The city of Scottsboro has used the services of RDS Tax for approximately the last 15 years. And during those years, there have been 2 or 3 name changes that have occurred. But they collect sales use, rental, and lodging tax for us, and they do periodic audits for us also. And at this time, we're asking that you give permission to the mayor to sign contracts with, authorizing him to sign the contracts with RDS Tax.
Do I have a motion to give the mayor approval for this?
I make a motion that we approve it, and give the mayor authority to sign.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If there's not any discussion, we'll go to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Passes. Third item is consider the budget amendment for county property tax overpayment.
Mr. President, before we get into taking a vote on that, of course, we all sat here and listened last week to Mr. Crawford, and talking about the city owing $180,000 or so, and thus realizing we do have a problem. I feel like that before we vote, to pay this $180,000, or our portion thereof, and the other agency's portion thereof, that we step back and at least take a look at it, because we're voting on paying $180,000 on something we only heard about one time and didn't really know much about. I would like to table this for a period of 2 weeks, in which you appoint a committee of whomever you would like to sit down and look at that audit, to sit down and find out exactly what happened other than a computer error, because most computers didn't just error. I mean, find out what really happened. And then thirdly, to make sure that this is not going to happen to us again. I don't think it would take any longer than the next 2 weeks of the next council meeting, we put it back on the agenda then. I'll make that motion that we take.
Do I have a second? I'll second. Any discussion? Okay, we'll go for a vote to table this item for the next 2 weeks. All in favor, or do I need to do a roll call vote? We'll do a roll call vote.
Mr. Swiller,
Sorry.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. McQuarrie,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Gary Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Patrick Stewart.
Yes.
You can't want the state likely to seize the money. You could get it next month, it's the first of the month, you can go ahead.
It took 5 or 6 weeks to get that information back from them, so probably we have it done before they get to it. Do you see a problem, now ask another question, do you see a problem with Mr. King?
Oh, it's my understanding the state said, and this is just what's been repeated today, was if it was not paid the first of the month, they would seize.
They indicated to us they would get their money one way or the other. Mr.
Well, I
Wheeler.
expect-
But we had asked them to, because of the council meetings and they had to go before the work session and all that, to give us to the 1st of April. So, and they were willing to do that. 2 of the 3 questions that you asked, I know the answers to. One of them, you said, how did this happen? Well, it was an employee in the Revenue Commissioner's Department made a mistake. Bottom line, that's what happened, caused this problem. Secondly, they've indicated to us that the problem has been fixed and it won't happen again. It's already been corrected for this year. It was only found in audit. Once they found it, they fixed it in the current year. I don't remember what the third thing was, but anyway, that's 2 of those things I do know the answer to already, but that's.
I thought he told us the other night he hoped.
Okay. I don't remember his exact word, but when we met, Mr. Wheeler and I met with him, he told us it had been corrected. The other night, I think he indicated that it had been fixed and he hoped it wouldn't happen again, so I guess, yeah, I think that's what he said. So, and I hope it don't happen again. What was the third thing, Mr. Smith? I mean, did you say 3 things you needed to?
We asked to,
Did we?
look at all,
Yeah,
the
look
guy
at
happened, and,
didn't we have, they gave us some paperwork, I don't know if it came from Ron or the audit, people, the state audit, that showed it, but we can get that, yes, sir. We can get it.
on top of my head,
I understand.
Mayor,
Yeah,
we're voting on something, we don't have that information.
okay.
And I think we can do it in 2 weeks. I just like to have that information.
We'll get it.
I'll go ahead and make that committee up, Mr. Smith, that we made up with myself, you and Mayor Potter, and we'll get it done within 2 weeks. Next item is consider resolution for the Shriners Road block.
Yes, sir. This resolution would ratify and approve the Shriners having their road block. And it was the four named locations: West Willow Street, Cedar Hill Drive, Parks Avenue, and Broad Street, 5 points, and only on County Park Road at the intersection of Highway 72. And they raise funds each year for the Shriners for Children's Hospitals. And they're asking that you approve that.
Do I have a motion? Consider this resolution.
I make that motion.
Have a second?
I see.
Any discussion? We'll go to a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Passes. Next item is consider resolution for awarding the pool door bids. That's in our packet. Mr. Wheeler, will you cover that, please?
Yes, sir. At the work session last week, we discussed that Recreation is in need of some doors for the pool area over there. And the lowest responsive bidder, we received 2 bids. We mailed 4 and we only received 2 back. The low bidder was Wilson Garage Door of Huntsville at $14,505. The other bid was from Designer Doors, $15,336, and it's recommended by the bid review committee that Wilson Garage Doors of Huntsville be awarded the bid as the lowest responsible bidder that met specifications.
Do I have a motion to approve? We give the pool bid award to Wilson Garage Doors and Husky.
I make a motion that we award Wilson Garage Door the pool bid.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Chairman, before you, just to give you a little background on this, these are the doors in the pool that go along the side there. There are panels that have to be taken down and put up every change of the season. They take them down in the summertime, put them up in the wintertime. And these are doors that they can just slide them like, it's like an overhead garage door where you can put them up and put them down pretty easily. So, you know, if it gets cool, they can put them down. If it gets warm, and bring it back up. This was originally bid back last summer or early fall, and there was a problem with the bids. And so that's why it's being rebid. And also the money for this was last year when the council gave some capital outlay money towards the end of the fiscal year. This is money from that to do this.
What's the life expectancy of these doors?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. You got to be. That was part of the problem with the original bid, that they were not some of the rails or some of the bearings or something were not what they needed to be. I'd be afraid to say what they're supposed to be, but that was part of the problem. And now it's been corrected, so you know, yeah, these are the correct ones.
Are these the insulated type doors?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Just curious.
Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor of this? Pool bid, awarding pool bid doors. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Next item is consider first Monday ordinance. This is the first ordinance Mr. Kenner's put together, so if you will read that for us, please.
This is a new First Monday ordinance. What it basically does is repeals the old 12 ordinances that have been in place off and on for the last many years. It establishes new rules and regulations. Basically, any person having the right to occupy a space first Monday permit issued by the city shall have right of occupancy with his or her vehicles or display between the hours of 6 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock p.m. on Friday, preceding each first Monday, until 1 o'clock on regular first Mondays, or 4 o'clock on first Monday holidays, or federal holidays. If the permit holder is not occupied the reserved space before the hour of 8:30 a.m. on each day, any person arriving has the right to set up place and use that space. The city will make available a map showing all places where vendors are permitted. Any remaining spaces not reserved by virtue of the first Monday permit are first come, first served. No individual or partnership or agency shall have more than 3 spaces reserved on an event. No new goods shall be sold unless the person sold them personally made, produced, or manufactured such new goods. Animals shall not be sold, exchanged, or displayed for selling at any first Monday event except by the city's animal control department for adoption purposes. The mayor is granted authority to establish supplemental events on the outside of the courthouse square during and after normal first Monday hours, including the authority to temporarily close city streets on the courthouse square for a period of less than 8 hours. The ordinance become effective upon its due passage for adoption. The publication is required by law. To adopt it tonight, Mr. Chairman, there would have to be a suspension of the rules.
Okay. Do I have a motion to set aside the rules to adopt this ordinance?
I make a motion to set the rules aside.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Wither, we do a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. McQuarrie,
Yes.
Mr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Gary Stewart,
Yes.
Mr. Patrick Stewart.
Yes. Next item would be a motion to adopt the first Monday ordinance. Do I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Does Mr. Kimmer, does the city have the authority to block out spaces on the square for whatever purpose if we find that necessary?
Yes, I don't think it's necessary to put that you can paint a space yellow or red or whatever.
No, I mean black them out on the map to
Yes.
make them unavailable so that if we wanted to have something set up in that space for the city, then we could
Yes.
black those out.
The only thing, that there were 42 or 43 yearly permits given last year. And so those 42 or 43 people this year were given the opportunity to renew those spots.
Yes.
And if they did, we marked those spots, there's a red stripe on either side of their number. So that indicates that that is a yearly vendor. So those spots are not to be taken until after the 8:30 comes up. And so, but any spot not marked or outlined in red with a red stripe on either side of the number is first come, first served.
Mr. Mayor, I don't think we discussed it. Can they renew that year after year?
Yes, that's the bid, but we won't give out any new ones. If somebody else wants one, it'd be first come, first served. But these 42 or 43, as long as they renew it every year, they will have that spot.
Any other discussion? None, we'll vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Thank you, Mr. Kimber, for doing that. Next item is consider appointments to the CDA board. Mr. Wither, will you read that, please?
Yes, sir. The terms of Linda Bray, Tony Kashik, and Blake Burns expired during the month of March 2013 on the Commercial Development Board. The following people have given written requests to be appointed to fill those vacancies: Blake Burns, Deborah Galvin Light, Tony B. Wallingford. This term is a 3-year term and will run from April 2013 through March 2016.
Do I have a motion to accept these individuals, 3 individuals on the CDA board?
You want us to do it as a slate?
Yes.
That y'all could- I make the motion that we accept these 3 individuals for appointment to the CDA board.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Not, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. Next item is consider the appointment of airport manager. Mr. Mayor.
Last week, we interviewed applicants for the position of airport manager. We interviewed 3 different ones. Our committees came to agreement that we'd like to hire Mr. Ty Towery. Ty has been filling in since Mr. Austin's sickness and then his death, and he has really caught hold of how things operate up here and has done a great job. And we are in the process of doing the background checks. We should get it back tomorrow. So pending the completion of the background checks, we would like to recommend hiring Ty Towery as airport manager. Mr. Stewart and Mr. Smith serve on that committee also. Gary Stewart, I should say.
Do I have a motion to get the recommendation from the mayor for Mr. Towery? Waiting on the pending background check.
I make the motion, depending on the results of the background check and everything, that we hire Mr. Tower as the airport manager.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Now we'll vote. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. The 9th item, last item on the agenda is consider the A-Trip Engineering Services.
You should have in your packets a copy of the contracts for Johnson and Associates, which will be doing the engineering for the Porter Road, Woods Cove Road, and then CDG, which is doing the Ridgedale Road. Mr. Kenner got these about a week or so ago, and he's overlooked it or looked over them. I'll let him speak to what he thinks about them, but we need to do this in order to start this A-Trip projects and get it out for bid, and so we continue with the engineering work. Mr. Kimmer, did you?
I reviewed I got them on the 17th, and reviewed the Porter Woods Cove Road. The document appears to be pretty standard for these kinds of things. Have no problem with the agreement. The CDG is a standard CDG contract. As I've stated, with every CDG contract that's come forward, I don't like their arbitration clause. I don't like anybody's arbitration clause. But it's a standard document.
In that CDG document, there are 2 different pieces to that. The original Atria was to replace the bridge on Willow Street end, but the state came back and said that it's possible the other bridge could also be replaced under this funding, and they're checking into that. So it's got an either or type proposal, and that's the bridge that is up near Arnold's property there on Ridgedale Road, closer to Tupelo 5. So we don't know yet. We think it's going to be eligible for funding, so it's got an either or thing for that piece of particular bridge.
Any other discussion? Do I have a motion to consider the A-Trip Engineering Services resolution?
I make a motion to approve the agreement.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. Now we'll go to reports. Mayor, do you have anything?
One thing I have is I'd like to thank Mr. Kimmer for his hard work on this first Monday ordinance. He spent a lot of time on that, trying to get it just like we all want it. And I thank the council for passing that. I think it's something that sorely needed to be done and a long time coming, and hopefully it's going to make first Monday better. And also, we're going to have a cruise in this Saturday night, starting at 5 o'clock, so the first time, so we're going to give that a shot and see how it works out, and work out any bugs that we may come across. That's all I got.
Thank you. Mr. Smith? Mr. Perry?
Thank you all for being here tonight.
Mr. Miller?
I'd just like to encourage as many people as possible to come out Saturday night for the cruising. I think it's a good thing that we're going to try to improve on and increase the participation in First Monday. So hopefully as many people will come out and at least just drive by and take a look at it.
I concur with Mr. Miller, we definitely need to get as many people out as we can.
Excuse me. I fished in the Big Bass Splash this past weekend and caught a total of 3 fish. I guess I'll only make the 4 pounds, 5 pounds, something like that. But I did catch more fishing lures that my dad made a long time ago, which meant a lot to me. So, but there was, I think, 1,200 boats that were put in, and I think the economic impact just from that was around $2 million, is what I was told. So, and there was people from all over the place when I sat in line. There was a couple guys from Illinois and Ohio. Just it brought in a lot of people that probably would never have fished here before. Well, the guys that I talked to had never fished here before. So it's a big industry. It's only getting bigger, but I enjoyed it. I hadn't fished in several years, so and it was evident. But anyway, but I want to thank all y'all that came out tonight. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.